Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Splendor, and in today's tutorial I'll be showing us how to make this beautiful shift dress that is showing on the screen right now. I know it's beautiful and I know you want to learn how to make it. It is beginners friendly and very easy to make. So let's get right started. First thing is to fold your fabric on your table like I just did, and then you fold it into two. Like you can see, I'm just trying to arrange it properly. But before we start, please, if you're new to my channel, kindly hit the subscribe button. At the end of the tutorial, if you learn one or two things, please hit the like button and make comments. Bring suggestions on videos you want us to treat here. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for coming back. Please share with your family and friends, and turn on your post notification bell to be the first to get notified whenever I post a new video. Alright, so having said that, the next thing we'll be doing now is to impute our horizontal lines using our vertical measurement. So we'll be starting with our shoulder line, and to get our shoulder line I'll be going down by half of an inch, like you'll be seeing. So this is going down by half of an inch. I'll just mark it like you can see. So I'll just extend that forward. I'll extend it like you can see. So this is half of an inch. So after I do this, I'll just go ahead to connect the markings together with my ruler like you can see. So if this was a pattern paper, I'll just indicate on it the shoulder line, but there's no need writing it on our fabric, we already know. So from my shoulder line, I'll be imputing my bust line, and from my shoulder line to my bust line is 11 inches. So I'm just marking 11 inches like you can see. I'll extend that to the front, and then I'll connect the 2 points together using my ruler as well like you can see. So after getting the bust points, I'll be imputing my hip line. From my shoulder line to my hip line is 24 inches. So I'm just marking 24 inches like you can see. So after marking it, I'll go ahead to connect the lines together again. So this is our hip line. So from my shoulder line, I'll be marking the full length of my dress. So for me, for this tutorial, I'll be using 37 inches. So I'll just mark 37 inches. I'm trying to shift it up so you guys can see. So this is me trying to mark 37 inches like so. Let me shift my dress up some more. My table is not so big, so this is 37 inches. I'll just extend the tape to the front like you can see. So 37 like you can see. I'll just connect the 2 points together again like so. So after doing that, the next thing I'll be doing, I'll just add additional 2 inches, and that will serve as my hemming line. So I'll just impute 2 inches like you can see. I'm sorry that this is not really clear, but okay. So this is me marking 2 inches like you can see, and then I'll just connect it with my ruler like so. So after connecting, the next thing I'll be doing is to mark my shoulder slope. So to get our shoulder slope, I'll be dividing my shoulder measurement by 2, which is 16 divided by 2 gives me 8 inches. So I'll just mark 8 inches like so. So from this point where I have marked 8 inches, I'll be going down by 1 inch. So this will serve as my shoulder slope. Having done that, the next thing I am going to be doing is to impute my neck lines. For me, for this dress, my neck depth will be 7.5 inches, but I'll mark 3 inches there, and then mark 4 inches as my neck width. So by the time I connect these 2 points together, that will serve as my round neck. So the additional 4.5 inches for my neck depth will be used to cut the front slit that is on this dress. So I'm just marking 7.5 inches altogether. From 3.3 inches to the 4.5 inch will be the slit on the neckline, and then from the neck width, which is 4 inches, to the 3 inches neck depth will be the round neck, like you can see. So this is what the neckline looks like. I'm sure you already have an idea of what the neckline looks like. We're going to be opening that into a slit at the front there. So having done that, the next thing I'll be doing now is to connect the neck width to the shoulder slope we marked earlier. So this is the shoulder slope. So having done that, the next thing I'll be doing is to impute my armhole measurement. For me, it is 8 inches, so I'm just marking 8 inches like this. So this is 8 inches, and that would be my armhole measurement. So I'll connect that point to my shoulder slope with my ruler, like you can see. So after connecting the points together, I'll be connecting from this point where I marked my armhole measurement to my center line, and this will serve as my chest line. So the next thing we'll be doing now is to mark out our armhole curve, and to do that, you find the midpoint between the armhole curve and the armhole measurement, and then from that midpoint you go in by 1 inch, like you can see, and then you use your pattern master to draw out your armhole curve. So this is it for the armhole curve. Now I'll be imputing my horizontal measurements. For me, my bust is 38. 38 divided by 4 gives me 9.5, plus 1 inch is allowance equal to 11. So I just marked 11 inches there. So for my hip, it is 44 divided by 4 plus 1 inch is allowance, and then I'll just mark it like so. And then for the full length, I'll be deducting half inch from my hip line, from my hip measurement, and then I'll just mark the figure there. The total I got for my hip measurement, I'll be deducting half inch from it, and then what I got is what I am marking, like you can see. So this is it, guys. So from my hip line, I'll be going up by 2 inches, and then I'll just connect that point. This is to avoid any sharp edge at my hip point. So now I'll just use my pattern master to draw out the hip curve. This will give us that beautiful shape at the hip side instead of a perfect sharp curve. So the measurement I got on my bust line, I'll just extend it to my chest line, and then I'll extend my armhole curve to that point. So this is it. I'll just extend my armhole curve to that point, like you can see. So now I'll just go ahead to add my sewing allowance at the side of my dress. So this is just to remind you that you can add any amount of ease allowance on your shift dress. It depends on how free or fit you want your shift dress to be. So I'm just adding 1 inch on the sides. This will serve as my sewing allowance. So guys, I'll go ahead to cut now. I'll be starting from the neck. I'll just cut out the round neck, like you can see. If you haven't given this video a thumbs up yet, please give it a thumbs up, make comments, encourage us to do more of these videos. If you're new to my channel, please hit the subscribe button, and if you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much. Kindly share with your family and friends, and please turn on the post notification bell to get notified whenever I post new videos. So this is me just cutting it out. Now guys, I want to encourage you all to try this at home. It is very easy to make. There's this joy that I'm going to feel knowing that you have tried out this tutorial at home. So after cutting it out, I'll just open it up for you guys to see. But before I do that, let me just confirm my measurements. I just want to retake my measurement to be sure that it is accurate, especially my dress length, the full length of my dress. Okay, so this is accurate. Now I'll go ahead to open up the slits on the neck. Remember that I told you that the total neck depth is 7.5, so we cut out 3 inches into the round neck. Now I just went ahead to cut out the slit that I told you guys about. So this is the slit at the front of our dress. So this is it for the front panel. We'll just go ahead to cut the back panel. So now I'll just fold my fabric into 2 like I did for the front panel, and then since it's just a simple dress, I'll be using the front panel to cut out the back panel. The only difference is that for the front neck is deeper while the back is up. So the back measurement, the neck depth for the back, I went down by 2 inches, but the neck width is the same, so I just marked it out like you can see, and then I'll just go ahead to cut it out like so. So now I'll use my front panel to cut out my back panel like you can see. So can you see that this tutorial is very easy, like very easy? You can just, all you need to do, this is just the basics. All you need to do is just be creative, add other designs you want to add to your shift dress. You can add 3 pockets in front, 2 pockets. Be creative with your fabric. You can mix all fabrics together and they'll turn out beautiful. But this is just the basic, guys. Can you see how simple it is? Now we have our front panel and then we have our back panel. This is just all about a shift dress. Any other thing you see on shift dress is just creativity. That is it. So we'll just go ahead to cut the sleeve. Now this shift dress, this particular one has a sleeve. In fact, the beauty of this particular shift dress is on the sleeve. So Now my sleeve length is 8 inches. I'm just marking 8 inches like you can see. Then I'll go down by additional 2 inches, making it 10 inches. So this additional 2 inches is just for my sewing allowance and any other thing I want to use it for. So I'll just draw the point together with my ruler. So now from this, I'll just go ahead to sketch my sleeve curve with a free hand. I'll be sketching it with a free hand. Like you can see, this is just something to play around. It's very easy to make. After you finish sketching your sleeve curve with a free hand, you can now go ahead to measure it. You measure your shoulder slope, and then the figure you get there, you just use your sleeve curve to mark it out. So this is me just imputing my shoulder curve, the figure I got there. I'm just marking it on my sleeve curve like you can see. Very easy to make. There is no rocket science about this. So this is it. Now I'll just go ahead to cut it out. This point I am marking here is I took my upper arm circumference and then I'm just imputing the figure there. So this is it. I just connected the points together and then I'll go ahead to cut it out like you can see. As you can see, it's very easy to cut. There is no rocket science about this. Very easy. I hope you try this at home soon, guys. Please let me know in the comment section. When you try it at home, come back to my comment section and let me know you have tried it. Let's know how it turned out to be. So I have cut this for one of my sleeve. I like to notch so that I know where to sew and where not to sew. So I'm just notching it and then I'll notch the center of my sleeve like you can see. So I'll be using this to cut out the second sleeve like you can see. I'll just place the first one on my fabric and cut out the second sleeve like you can see. I hope you have hit the subscribe button. I hope you have liked this video yet, and I hope you have shared this video. Please, if you haven't done that, please do that. Support your girl. Thank you so much for my returning subscribers. Thank you for sharing. So guys, after notching out the notchable parts on my fabric, on my sleeve, the next thing I am going to be doing is to cut out the other fabric that I'm going to be using to make the design on my sleeve. So this is the second fabric I'll be using. Now I just placed it on my table. I'm trying to mark out 10 inches. I'll just mark out 10 inches like you can see, and then I'll cut it out. So for each of the sleeve, the length is going to be 36 inches. For each of the sleeve, it's going to be 36 inches, while the depth is anywhere like that. The length is 36 inches, while the width is 10 inches. So after cutting it, I just folded my fabric into 4 instead of leaving it long and cutting. I folded it and then I'll just cut them together. But don't worry, I'll open it up for you guys to see soon. So this is just me cutting it out. This fabric is a new one and I bought it purposely for this dress. So I'll just fold the remaining one for another dress. So after doing that, now I was just trying to be creative. Like I was wondering if I could just add a piece of this fabric on at the front of the dress. I was just trying to play around it, but you know, I ended up deciding to use it on the sleeve only instead of putting patches of the dress on the dress. So now we'll just be using it for the sleeve only. So now the next thing I'm going to be doing is to, you know, cut out like a band. If you can see the band on this dress on the screen. So this band now is, the width is 2 inches, while I took the length of my sleeve, it is 15 inches. So I'll just mark 15, and this will be the length of this band. So I'll just go ahead to cut it into the length of the sleeve. So I'll just cut it. I'm trying to make sure it is the same length. So I'll just cut it. So after cutting it, I'll go ahead to divide it into 2. So that will be 2 inches width and 15 inches length. So this is the 2 band for each of the sleeve. So after that, like I told you, each of the sleeve is going to be having 36 inches width. This is what is on the sleeve. So I'll just cut it. I cut my own together, so I'm cutting it separately now. So this is for one of the sleeve, and then this is for the second sleeve. So on this sleeve now, I'll go down by 2 inches on that line, on these points that I am marking out. It is the point where I'll be stitching, because we're going to be doing a gather stitch. So instead of stitching at the edge, I'll be, these points that I'm marking, I went down by half of an inch. So now between the 2 points where I'll be stitching to do a gather stitch, the gap will be 1.5. So from that first point that I marked, I'm going down again by 1 inch. So I'll just connect it, I'll rule it out for you guys to see clearly. So this is, on this straight line, I'll be stitching on it, and then on the second straight line as well, this is where I'll be making my stitching. And don't forget to use a loose stitch, because you're going to be using it to do a gather stitch. When you gather it, it will come out like this. So guys, I'll be doing the same thing for the second sleeve. In my next video, I'll be showing you how I sewed this dress into this beautiful dress you can see on the screen. I don't want this video to be too long. That is why I decided to break the video into 2. So the second part of this video will be the stitching part. I'll show you from A to Z on how I sewed it to achieve this beautiful dress on the screen. I'll see you in my next video, but for now, please stay confident. Bye bye.